Tommy.
Nice to meet you. You too.
First tattoo. You excited?
Mate, I'll be honest with you, I never thought I'd see myself in a tattoo parlor anytime soon, but I guess we are here.
So it's not something you've ever considered before?
Nope, never. But I don't know what's come over me. I mean, I'm here and I'm about to get a tattoo.
When Myprotein comes a knocking,
Yeah.
you answer the door, right?
I have answered the door, yeah, and I'm inside the door right now.
I know that Molly Mayweather mentioned about you guys maybe getting some matching tattoos, right?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
What was your reaction to that? Were you keen or no?
I'll be honest with you, I shut it down pretty immediately. I was like, nah, I'm not getting a tattoo. Like, I just never thought I'd get a tattoo.
But again, when Myprotein comes a knocking,
You gotta open the door. The door's open, mate. Flung it open.
how's she gonna react?
I don't know. I mean, I'll try and get a few glasses of wine down before I tell her. And then see what she says.
Hey, before we get going, somewhat disconcertingly, they need us to fill in a bit of a disclaimer.
A disclaimer.
So I think we need to have, yeah, don't worry about it.
That's not something you sign when you're about to die, is it?
Let's move over here. We'll get it filled in, mate.
Okay.
I understand that this procedure is a permanent change to my skin and body. I just put yes to that one, mate. I wouldn't even think too much about that one.
I'm thinking a lot about that one, I'll be honest.
I indemnify and hold harmless the tattoo shop against any claims, expenses, damages and liabilities. This is not filling me with any kind of confidence.
I'm gonna pass, mate. I'm gonna.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, God.
It's signature down there, mate, yeah. And an initial, please, if you wouldn't mind. And date.
Oh, they want everything, don't they?
I think it's going to be a few minutes whilst they get set. I was thinking we could go and have a look at some of the designs. Tattoo shop, see if there's anything that takes your fancy.
Let's go.
You signed it now, mate.
Okay.
Let's take a look at what they've got, mate.
Okay.
Anything jumping out at you immediately?
Well, immediately is Ellie Belly. He is my son. Actually, he's been my son for the past 4 years. It's been the best 4 years of mine and his life. Great relationship.
See, we thought Bambi was your first, but we didn't know it.
Yeah, no, I'm his long lost father. Didn't really see much of me at the start of his life, but for the past 4 years, he's seen everything in me.
You spotted this one.
Yes,
So you'd consider this one as well, right?
Five Guys, what can I say? Top 3 favourite places to go.
Anything else jumping out at you? I know that you're super keen on horror movies, right?
Yes.
So that's the ultimate goal, horror movie acting.
Yeah, I think once the boxing's wrapped up, we're going to head on over to wherever it is that they want me filming, but horror films is the way I want to go.
So it's a little known secret, right? But I've done a bit of acting myself. Right? I went to drama school. One of the first things, and it's particularly relevant for horror movies, one of the first things you learn at drama school is how to do a good double take. We're going to practice some horror movie double takes.
Okay.
So on this wall somewhere, there's a cactus.
Okay.
You need to look around the wall, and then when you see the cactus, give a double take.
Okay.
Like it shocked you.
All right, let me get into character.
In your own time. Oh my God, that was chilling.
Told you.
You've got it in the
Class
bag.
act, mate. Class act.
I just need a moment to relax after that.
Leonardo who? I can see the hairs on your arm stood up. I can physically see that.
Yeah, I was chilling.
Hollywood will be on the phone in a second.
And so we've discussed what Molly May's reaction would be if you got Ellie Belly, right? What about, see, when you were a young man, if you'd come home to Big John with a tattoo,
Yeah.
what kind of reaction would that have got?
The reaction would go a bit like this, right? Say you're me, it'd be like this.
I'd rather not.
I don't know, honestly. My dad's not got a tattoo, no one in the family's got a tattoo, but I honestly don't know what his legitimate reaction would be. I guess we're going to find out pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm going to find out. Who do you think's going to have the biggest reaction? Your dad or Molly May?
I think just because it's my dad and everyone knows my dad, he's going to have the biggest reaction. But I think Molly's, I don't know, I don't think she's going to be best pleased, let's put it that way.
Well, let's find out. I think they're ready for us.
Perfect, let's do it.
Let's jump in. You ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. So I've not told my dad yet, so I'm excited to see what he's going to say. But...
I'm not. I'm terrified of what your dad's going to
Yeah,
say.
you better leave the country.
Your first time getting a tattoo, my first time doing an interview getting a tattoo. Let's see how we get on. It is, yeah. If I jump and flinch, don't
worry about
act natural, yeah. 14th of October, AO Arena, KSI. Talk to me about the fight. Tell me, how's this fight come about?
Well, let me divert my attention a little bit. The fight has come about because my last fight was against Jake Paul, And obviously Jake Paul and KSI are competitors, you know, the rivals. And this fight was inevitable after I beat Jake Paul, you know, because them two have been going back and forth about who's better for years out of them two. So I guess once I beat KSI, they'll both be on the same playing field.
So it was a logical next step.
Yeah.
After the Jake Paul fight. Yeah. What are we now, like 6 weeks out?
Yeah.
How's camp going?
Camp's going amazing. At the end of the day, you've got to go into camp knowing what you're in for. You know, you kiss goodbye to meals out, kiss goodbye to life, really. You know, I've just had a baby, you know, 7 months ago. And, you know, I only see her on the weekends. I only see my missus on the weekends. But, you know, through the week, it's just hard graft.
Do you think that's important in a camp to go into that? Like, some people will be in camp and go home to the family, and then other people want to go away and get into that, like, warrior mindset for camp, right? Like, is that... How do you feel about that?
I think it's, you know, ever since, you know, Bambi came along, I think it's very important for me to, you know, on the build-up for a fight, get myself out of that household, because I find it very hard to be a cuddly, soft dad. Nurturing, reading bedtime stories, and then all of a sudden in the morning, I've got to switch to ripping a man's head off. Yeah. You know, it's very hard to make that adjustment. So I just feel like being away 5 days a week and getting in the zone and smashing out these sessions, it just it benefits me a lot.
Where are you training out of for this camp?
So for this camp, we are training at Mottram Hall down in Mobley. They've been amazing there. So they built me a full set-up gym, boxing rings in there, mirrors, bags, whatever I needed in there. So they're letting me and my full team stay there for the duration of the camp, which is about 2.5 months. So we're based up there.
So I know people, like, it's a standard thing to say, right? How's camp going? Camp's going well. It's going really well. How do you judge that? How do you know? Is it just how you feel? Is there something you look for to know that your camp's going well?
I mean, yeah, I think, you know, past camps, you have numbers that you've hit in strength and conditioning, for example. And, you know, if I'm hitting them numbers and beating them numbers now with still 6 weeks to go, you know, that to me is a good camp. You know, I look at the type of explosive stuff I'm doing. I'm looking at tape on where I'm at in the boxing ring, and, you know, how sharp I'm looking. And all that is just things to go off. And by looking at everything right now, this is the best camp to date.
Who's at the helm of the camp? Is Big John?
Big John is there. Big John's running the camp as normal. The reason why I like training with my dad is because he's very old school. And if you're doing something wrong, he'll tell you about it. And if you're doing great, he just won't say anything. So it really is, you know, you've got to work for your respect in my dad's eyes. But alongside my dad, we've got Bob Howard, another great trainer I've known for many years. I've got my brother Roman there. He's training alongside me. He helps push me in every session. I've got my nutritionist over from New York. He's here for the full duration. Obviously, nutrition is, I think, you know, 80-90% of it. So, yeah, we've got everyone that we need there.
As you progress through your career, have you learned more and more about the value of nutrition?
Oh, believe you me, it's been trial and error. I mean, for a lot of my career, actually, you know, all my amateur career, you know, my first 4 or 5 fights as a professional, I was eating McDonald's, I was eating KFC, whatever you wanted, you know. I didn't really think about it too much. I was a big lover of cheese, and I remember there, for my third professional fight, just come out of Love Island, and it was a week before the fight, and I came in for a run, and I just sat on the bed watching a horror film, eating a block of cheese. And I was like, what am I doing here? But I just didn't, you know, I was just naive. I didn't really know that much about nutrition. So as the years have gone by, I've slowly learned that nutrition is key, and, you know, you are what you eat, and you only get out what you put in.
Have you felt that shift in your output since the input?
Definitely. I don't think, I know for a fact I couldn't do half the stuff I do now on, you know, my old diet.
The cheese diet?
The cheese diet, the burger diet, whatever it was. You know, especially as we get older, you know, I'm still a young guy, but I'm finding it hard to lose the weight, you know, more than I did so. Obviously, I'm doing it fine now because I've got the right people on board. But, you know, nutrition is key. So for anybody out there starting the gym or wanting to get into training, the first thing you need to do is sort your nutrition out.
So you can't out-train a bad diet?
You can't. And I thought you could, but you definitely can't.
So the fight's at 183 pounds.
Yeah.
Is that a big weight cut for you? What do you walk around at?
Do you really want to know?
I'd love to know. Can we know? Or is that giving the game away?
No, not really. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I walk around out of camp 225, 230 pounds. And to cut down to 183 is a big cut. But obviously, I know when I've got a fight coming up, so I think ahead of the game. So 3 months before I go into actual training camp, I'll begin my weight loss journey. So then when I get into camp, it's not that bad at all. You know, I think I arrived in camp at 210, 212. And it's going great. The weight cut's going amazing. I'm feeling great during the sessions. Just all the science behind it, stuff that I'm not really used to, because obviously with my dad training me, there is no science whatsoever involved. My dad's just hard graft all the time. So for me to get on the science side of things, it's really nice. You know, since we're all in camp together, my nutritionist is at every session, and that's really great because he gets to see my output, he gets to see how much I sweat, and all that plays a part in what he's going to feed me after the session. You know, how he's going to rehydrate me. You know, it really is scientific. I mean, you can be as scientific as you want with it, but, you know, he calculates it by, you know, my weight before the start of the session to my weight after the session. That's how much electrolytes he needs me to drink. I don't know. I get confused just talking about it. But, you know, it's good that he's there and he can watch everything because, you know, everything's just hand in hand.
Your family are obviously big advocates for training and the importance of training and your general well-being.
Yeah.
What impact does training have on your well-being as a whole?
I think training is the best thing, you know, no one's stranger to understand this, but me and my family suffer a lot from mental health. Me, not so much as the rest of my family, you know, my dad, Tyson, I think they're the real big sufferers. And I think training just gets you through. You know, if you are feeling, you know, one day like you just can't be bothered at all, you're a bit down, you're a bit low, I guarantee if you just put your running shoes on or you go for an hour in the gym, you know, get into it, I guarantee you'll come out of there feeling revitalized and a completely different person. And that's the thing that what got Tyson through there. You know, it wasn't anything else other than the gym. You know, he found by setting short-term goals and going to the gym, that relieved him of all his stress, of all his anxiety. And I think that relates to everybody. You know, the gym is an amazing place, whether you're a professional athlete or just an everyday person. You know, get in the gym and do what you can and you'll feel better.
You'd only regret the workout that you don't do, right? You never regret doing a workout?
Never, definitely not. And coming out of the gym, there is no better feeling than starting your morning off, lovely gym session, shower afterwards, protein shake, and walking out of there. You feel like a new man. And, you know, people can go on a night out. What happens the next day? You get up, you feel horrible. You can't eat all day. You're off your routine. It's horrible. But the gym, you're always on the routine and you're always improving yourself 1% better at a time.
So 14th of October, AO Arena, KSI. What impact does this fight have on your career? Talk to me about where within the story of your career does this fight sit?
I think my career, you know, I think I'm the only guy with a career like mine because I started off like every other boxer in the country, you know, just fighting in small hall shows. I mean, I made my first, you know, debut fight at the Manchester Arena, which was obviously a big card to fight on for your first one.
Is it Warrington and Frampton?
Warrington and Frampton,
huge.
Many moons ago. But, you know, it's like everybody, you start out with a dream and then all of a sudden, ITV rings a phone, you on, and then next minute I'm on Love Island. Next minute I come off there and I go back to fighting and the arena's packed out, you know, you're there, your main event, and it's pretty crazy. And the way I liken to all these YouTube fights, it's like my dream is to be a world champion, and I know I'll accomplish that. But right now, it's like I'm on Route 66 and I've just stopped off for some petrol, and then I'm going to get back on the road and claim me world title. That's where I put it down to. You know, these fights are the great fights, they're entertaining fights, the fan-friendly fights. But after these, you know, they're all said and done, I will be going back and I will be winning a world title because that's my goal at the end of the day. I didn't get into this sport to fight, you know, YouTubers or, you know, celebrities. I'm not really into that. You know, these fights are around at the time. Great, I'll take them. But is it going to be here forever? No. Should I capitalise? Yes. And will I get back on track after this? 100%.
So that's the impact that this fight has on your career. What impact does being on the business end of a Tommy Fury knockout have on KSI's career? Where does he go from here?
I think he's in the same boat as Jake Paul, to be honest, because everyone was saying, you know, oh, when Jake Paul loses, he's finished. Not really, because these guys, they're not trying to climb the top of the tree and achieve world titles. All these guys are interested in is viewing figures and pay-per-view buys and all sort of stuff. They're not interested in winning. Like, yeah, it would have done Jake Paul a lot of good winning, but he didn't. And like KSI, yeah, I'm sure it would do him great winning. But is he going to win? No, not a chance in hell. But guess what? When he's done and I've knocked him out, He's probably going to go and release another song. He's probably going to go and do another podcast. He's probably going and, I don't know, make another YouTube video. That's what these guys are, you know, whereas me, fighting's in my blood, it runs through my veins. And for generations at a time, this is all we have done. You know, and KSI is not the man to beat Tommy Fury, just like Jake Paul wasn't. You know, and these guys, they need to realise that. But at the end of the day, he will realise that in 6 weeks' time.
You're a Fury. There aren't really any names in fighting that come with more gravitas than that, right?
Yeah.
Is that a gift? Is it a curse? What impact has being a Fury had?
It's a gift. You know, every day of the week, it's a gift. It's the best thing. You know, growing up behind Tyson, obviously Tyson was world champion when I was a young kid, and I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. You'll never be as good as your brother, and I can say that now. I'm not trying to be Tyson. There's only one Tyson, and there will only be ever one Tyson. I'm just trying to be the best Tommy Fury that I can be. And wherever that gets me, I'll be happy with, because I'll know when I'm 60 or 70 years old, sat back in my rocking chair, I can think, do you know what? I give it my all, and I got to where I got to, and I'm happy with that. You know, but being a Fury, it's everyone, you say you got the pressure of Tyson, the name, everything. It's like, yeah, if somebody was trying to live up to Tyson, they would have that pressure. But when you're just trying to be the best version of yourself, there's no pressure. You know, Fury's a great name. I'm honoured to be in the family. You know, and I'm honoured to have a brother who's done so well, you know, and smashed it out the park. He's won every single belt in boxing. For me, you know, people's going to say I'm biased, but I think he's the best to ever do it. You know, you look at his capabilities, you look at his size. People that size shouldn't move like that, you know, and everything, all the attributes that he has. For me, he's the best. So to have him there on my shoulder for anything that I need at any time of day, it is a blessing.
Who is someone that you would say has had the biggest impact on your career? So an inspiration or a hero, or even someone within your circle who's had the biggest impact?
I think everybody's had an impact in my life because, you know, obviously as a kid I looked up to Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, all these old fighters. And I used to try and take a piece of the puzzle and add it to mine. But even Tyson, seeing everything, what he's been through, all the adversity, you know, all the trials and tribulations and coming through the other side and, you know, beating Klitschko in Germany when everybody says he couldn't do it. You know, all that just motivates me, and it always has done. Even the fights with Wilder, being out there in Vegas, seeing everything. That's stuff little kids dream of, especially when you're growing up in the same industry. And my dad as well. You know, I speak to my dad every single day. He's my head trainer. He's always trained me. And you hear his stories. My dad used to fight 10-rounders against proper, legitimate, hard men back in the 80s for like £60. And he used to work all day, tarmacking and roofing. And then he'd get a phone call saying, do you want to go 10 rounds tonight? This prospect, you know, 60 quid on the line, do you want to do it? And my dad had probably been working 16 hours. You know, he'd get in the car, he'd drive to the show, and he'd do the 10 rounds. You know, just a proper hard man. And, you know, hearing stories like that, you think, right, I've had a full camp. I've had weeks and weeks and weeks of training. I'm unbeatable. And that's the mindset I go into every fight with. You know, it's all or nothing for me. And, you know, when you come from that stock, I do believe that there's only Furies on this planet that have that. You know, everyone can be against us, but nothing can get inside of us because we live to fight. You know, fighting for us is like two kids passing the ball in the street. That's all we know. That's all we ever have known.
Talk to me about someone that you would love to fight. Either your next fight or a career highlight fight, a dream fight.
A dream fight. You know, I said this actually a few months ago. You know, obviously a dream fight for me would be someone like Mike Tyson or someone like that. But realistically, I'd love to jump in there with Mayweather. And I'm saying this because I know he's doing a lot of these exhibitions. But I've watched Mayweather since being, you know, ever since I knew about boxing, I've watched Mayweather. I actually got the opportunity to be chief support to him out in Dubai a few fights ago. You know, and I was at a press conference with him. I was talking to him face to face. Couldn't believe my luck. And like I say, I know he's doing these exhibitions now. And if I was able to have a chance to share the ring with him, that'd be a big tick off the bucket list, 100%, because he's an idol of mine. He's pure motivation. Again, one of the best to ever do it. So if that fight came about, I'd snatch that with both hands.
I think for sort of your generation, a lot of people of your generation, he is the fighter that made them fall in love with boxing, right?
Yeah.
So I think you're uniquely positioned to have an impact on boxing, because we're at a point in boxing where we have sort of purist boxing, and then we've got crossover boxing, right? And we're seeing the worlds merge. Like even Tyson's next fight, some would consider to be a crossover fight, right? You're uniquely placed in that, as we've discussed, you have the pedigree of a Fury, you're a pro boxer, and then you come from that line of fighters, right, all the way back to sort of like Uriah Burton and like Kings of the Gypsies and stuff. And then you're a bona fide TV and reality star also. So you're uniquely placed within those two worlds and those two paths.
Yeah.
Do you need to pick one of those paths, or is your path a unique path to you, a Tommy Fury path? I guess the question in short is, what does greatness look like for Tommy Fury?
Greatness for me, you know, it's came in many shapes and forms and many thoughts that I've had over the years what greatness would look like for me. But all in all, greatness for me is just making sure that I provide for my family, making sure that I give my daughter the best life that I can give her, making sure I can be the best husband and fiance that I can be, making sure I'm true to myself, and making sure Jesus Christ, my Lord and Saviour, thinks that I'm a good person. Because at the end of the day, what I've learned is all this glitz and glamour, you know, it's nice, but it's not everything. And it's not everything to me, because I've been on, like, you know, nice holidays and getting away and stuff like that and all these nice things, but nothing beats that feeling of walking through that door after a tough day and getting a cuddle off the missus, swinging the baby up in the air, kissing her to death, putting her in bed, going downstairs and putting a film on. That for me is as good as it gets for me. So at the end of the day, all this stuff that I'm doing now, it's just to secure a lovely future for my daughter. And I don't believe in spoiling my kids, and I never will. But it's, you know, for a rainy day and in case there's ever an emergency, I know she'll be all right. And that for me, you know, thankfully now I'm in a position where I can do that. And for me, I've already achieved greatness. You know, this is just a bonus. And like I said, I wake up and thank God every day for the position that I'm in. But at the end of the day, all I'm going to keep doing is doing what I'm doing, you know, trying to be the best person that I can.
He's been stabbing me with a needle for half an hour, and that's the thing that's just brought a tear to me.
Oh, it's all honesty, mate. Honestly, it's that is the best feeling in the world. And Tyson tell you that himself, and that's where I've learned a lot of it from. Tyson's, you know, money's no object to that man, but he drives around in a normal car, lives in a normal place, lives a normal life, just him and his family, and that's all we are. As Furies, family is everything, and nothing will ever come between that, you know. Billions of pounds, millions of pounds, trillions of pounds, it's all great, yeah, no problem, but they can all have it. I just want my family, go out for a bit of dinner, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Tommy. I think we're done. Are we done, guys?
I think we're done, yeah. We're all good.
I'll be honest, I've not felt me trapped for the past hour and a half, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Nice, I think we should we have a look?
Let's have a look. Let's see.
Moments of truth. I feel like yours is bigger than mine. You ready?
Let's take a look.
I'm excited.
I'm on eggshells.
It looks good, you know. I'm excited for you to see it.
Oh.
You ready?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's good, isn't it?
Do you know what? It's not terrible. I think my dad will approve. But I guess we'll have to wait and see for that one. But it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I think it tastes. Suits you.
Do you know what? It didn't hurt that much, to be honest. Listen, I'm happy. That's a successful trip to Tattoo Parlor, I think.
Yeah, isn't it? 5 guys.
Let's do it.